Hello everyone, I am Bhargavi Dave, a final year information technology student at Gujarat Technological University. I recently completed my 4-week month-tech internship at Webstack Academy where I got hands-on experience with both front-end and back-end. During this internship, I explored everything from the basics of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to advanced technologies like React and the MERN stack. The MERN stack, which stands for the MongoDB, Express, React, and Node.js. So in this video, I will be sharing my entire internship journey, covering what I learned about each technology and how I implement it in my project. Let's start from the very beginning with HTML, the foundation of every website. HTML, Hypertext Markup Language, is like the skeleton of any web page. It defines how the structure and the content appear on a screen. During my internship, I learned how important it is to use a semantic tags for clarity, creator forms for user input, user tables to organize the data, and add links and images for the navigation and visual appeal. In my project, I use HTML5 to build a clean, accessible pages with the proper heading hierarchy and meaningful structure. This made it so much easier to style later with the CSS and to add interactivity using the JavaScript. Beyond the basis, I explored advanced features of HTML5 to make my pages more efficient and accessible. I focused on semantic HTML using a text like a header, nav, section, and footer, which not only improves the structure but also helps with the search engine optimization. Accessibility was another major learning, adding a proper alt text for images and using it accessible reach internet applications labels helps make a site inclusive for everyone. I also learn about a form validation using attributes like required or pattern and meta tags for better search engine optimization and performance. Lastly, I applied technologies like a lazy loading for images and code optimization to boost the loading speed. This best practices really helped me write a professional quality HTML code. Once I had a strong HTML structure, the next step was to make everything look beautiful, and that's where CSS came in. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets, is what gives a life to web page. I learned about selectors and specificity to target elements accurately, and the box model, which includes the margin, the padding, borders, and content to create the perfect layout using a flex box and CSS grid. I was able to design both simple and complex layouts easily. I also worked on a responsive web design using a media queries, so my pages looked great on all devices from phone to dashboards. By combining all these concepts, I turned my basic HTML into a clean, professional web pages with a smooth transitions and custom color themes. In advanced CSS, I learned that there are multiple ways to apply CSS: inline CSS, internal CSS, and external CSS, and each has its own purposes. The box model became my best friend. Understanding how content, padding, borders, and margins interact helped me control the spacing perfectly. I also explored CSS Grid for creating responsive, multi-column layouts and custom properties to keep my design consistent and easy to maintain. Using modern CSS features and tools gave my styles and professional touch. These skills made my web pages look modern, flexible, and easy to manage. Alright, so now we have a great looking website, but it's still static. Let's see how I made it come alive with the JavaScript. JavaScript is the heart of web interactivity. It's what makes a website do things. I learn about variables, data types, loops, and functions to handle a logic and repetition. With the DOM manipulation, I could dynamically change HTML elements, for example, updating content or hiding and showing the sections. I also practiced event handling, like responding to clicks or inputs to make my pages interactive. JavaScript truly brought my web pages to life, adding real-time responses and better user experience. In this part of my internship, I learned asynchronous programming using a promises and async await to fetch data without reloading the page. I also discovered modules which let me organize a code into smaller, reusable pieces. Error handling became very important too. I learned to use a try-catch blocks and debugging tools to write a reliable code. To improve the performance, I implemented technologies like debouncing and lazy loading. I even got introduced to tools like Webpack, NPM, which are essential for modern JavaScript development. This made me realize how JavaScript powers everything in a professional web application. Once I was comfortable with JavaScript, I moved on to the most exciting part, building my front end with React. React completely changed how I approach web development. Instead of manually manipulating the DOM, React lets you create a components, a small reusable pieces of UI that make building complex interfaces so much easier. Each component manages its own logic and rendering, while props, pass data and state keeps a track of changes. React also uses the virtual DOM, which makes updates super fast and efficient. These concepts help me create a clean, responsive and scalable front end. In my project, I built the entire front end using a React component based architecture. I use a functional component with the hooks like a useState and useEffect. useState help manage from inputs and dynamic UI, while useEffects handle the API calls and side effects. I implemented conditional rendering and event handling to make my app more interactive. One of my favorite part was creating a custom component like a user card that updates its state with a simple button click. React made development smooth, organized and really enjoyable. After mastering the React, it was a time to connect everything together. That's where the MERN stack came in. The MERN stack stands for MongoDB, Express, React and Node.js, and together they make up a powerful full stack environment. MongoDB handles my data in a flexible JSON-like documents. Express.js acted as the backend framework to create APIs and routes. React.js managed the user interface, and Node.js powered everything behind the scene, letting JavaScript run on the server. Using these technologies, I built a complete web app where the data smoothly flowed from the databases to the front end, all through RESTful APIs. It was amazing to see how everything connected perfectly. Now, As I wrap up my journey, let's quickly go through my key learnings. This internship was a turning point in my journey as a developer. I learned how to think with a full stack mindset, understanding both front end and back end sides of an application. I got comfortable working with the modern frameworks and tools that real developers use in the industry. And most importantly, I improved my problem solving skills, learning how to debug, research, and build a working features independently. This experience truly transformed me from a student learning theory into a developer who can create a real world applications. Thank you, Webstack Academy, for this wonderful learning experience, and thank you everyone for the listening. Now I will move on to the live demo of my project. Now here we go. This is my project, Homely Hub, and this is the whole code for my project. This is the front end folder and this is the back end folder. So Homely Hub is basically a platform that lets people find and book a unique places to stay while traveling, whether it's a cozy home or a fancy villa or a room. You can experience a personalized stay. Hosts can also earn money by sharing their spaces. So explore the world with Homely Hub for a unique and comfy adventure. Now let me show you the code portion. This is the front end file. All the modules are here. This is my source folder. Here is the components, and here is my app.jsx file. The main.jsx file is here, and here you can see the backend folder. And I have already connected my MongoDB with this, so you can see that MongoDB is connected. Here is my MongoDB, and here is the property. So you can see this is my database, and this is my code. And let me show you my website. So this is the basic website that I have used. Let me log out. So this is the website that made by me. So this is the whole project. Here you can see the various properties. Here's the different type of properties like home, villas and rooms. The interface is designed to be clean and user friendly. You can see the buttons that you can use. So let me open one. So you can see this is the pictures that I have used. The description of the whole property is here. The place that offers it, there is a kitchen facility, parking, Wi-Fi, and here is the map. This is the actual map. You can zoom in, you can zoom out. Let me zoom in. So you can zoom in. You can clearly see the exact location here. So this is the map, and here you can do the booking. And yeah, you can also, let me show you the again, you can also search for the particular location here. Let me write a Goa and do a search. So you can see the Goa places here, and you can also search according to the number of guests. Let me add a 6 guest here and search. So all these locations have availability for 6 guests. And here's also one filter button is also there. It's a price range. You can adjust the price according to your flexibility. So here you go, and you can also select the property type, like the house you want to stay, the flat, guest house, or the hotel, according to your wish. The room type you can select, and the amenities that you can select, that what you want. So, and you can clear this one. So this is the filter. Now let me log in and show you the whole thing. I have already registered and logged in the past, so it has my data. So here you go. I will log in. This is my account. Let me show you. So this is my account, the day I joined, and this is my bookings, and this is my accommodation. Let me go to home. So you can use this one to go back to the home. Okay, let's do a booking. So here I select this property. You can see all the information for that particular property. Here is the description, the pictures are here, the maximum number of guests that can stay is there, and the amenities that they can provide us is that the Wi-Fi, AC, free parking, washing machine, and the exact location you can see, and the extra information is also there. So just let me book a one property. I select the start date, it's this, and I select the end date. So according to the per night price, they calculate the whole price and show me at this book this place button. Let me select the guest number. So I select 7. The maximum number of guests you can select is 8, so I select the 7. Let me add my name here, and my phone number, and here we go. So you can see the all information is here, booking details are here, my check-in date, my checkout date, number of guests we are, and the night I have to stay or I want to stay, and the total price it calculate according to that. And let me proceed to payment. Now you can see the whole receipt is showing me, the properties there, and all the details are there, and you can pay here. Like, let me cancel. So this is how the whole website work, and let me back. So this is my project, Homely Hub, and at the end of this project demo, I just want to say a big thank you to Webstack Academy for giving me this amazing opportunity, and a special thanks to Richa Ma'am for being such a supportive and motivating mentor throughout the internship. I really learned a lot during these 4 weeks, and this project wouldn't have been possible without your guidance. Thank you so much.